Hey, you gorgeous people. Um, okay, so what I want to share today. We are the seed of Abraham by faith, right? Through and it says by the righteousness of faith, his faith, right? So we receive the blessing of Abraham, right? And we are called the sons of Abraham in terms of children, not gender. Okay, so all y'all alphabet people, keep your hair on. Okay, so I'm basically posting this to run through some thoughts and see what your view is, and drop a few ideas that I'm learning. So that being the case, I want to just also bring up when you read the Gospels, so many times we hear Jesus heals, he does all these many things, but a lot of times his interaction with the people who receive his miracles is him saying to them, one way or the other, your faith has made you whole. Your faith has healed you. Great is your faith. That kind of thing. And I don't want to lie, people, that's always been very difficult to receive for me. Mainly because whenever I heard that, it felt as if, I think, before I go further, I think I can understand why Peter and the guys said to Jesus, increase our faith, and instead he said, all you need is, and then he names the lowest seed size they know in their world. I mean, I can just imagine their utter confusion, because that scripture has confused me for years and years. No matter how many times I hear different preachings on that mustard seed faith thing. And sometimes I feel like I've got it. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of got it. And then sometimes I just avoid it. I just avoid it because I'm like, this size seed thing. But I realized today, as I'm listening to this teaching, that actually the way I've been hearing and reading all these scriptures has been based on my sense of feeling I have to generate the faith. Like you remember, I don't know if you ever seen those old T-Ford, I think they were called cars back in the 1920s, but the first cars, they had this doojobby in front where you stuck this piece of metal into the front of the vehicle, and then you would wind, and I mean vigorously wind this thing, and then suddenly the engine would catch, and then you get the chaka 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 of the engine, and now you jump in the car and off you can go. And I've always felt that sense of having to, the faith, work up the faith, and in my Christian context, I felt that the way that looked, the working up of the faith, was in tithing enough, more than enough tithing, giving over and above. And the one that was particularly holy feeling was the giving when it hurts. And serving at the church, serving so and so's ministry so that you get your own ministry. I don't want to lie, guys. A part of me always felt that was a bit of crap. Pardon the French. However, it did not stop me from climbing into that hamster wheel and, jogging steadily and so wholeheartedly on that wheel and trying to pump up the jam of my faith. And always, always, bone crushingly disappointed with the results. The results were hit and miss. The results were short. The results were never what I had. They were never Jeremiah 29 type of results. They were not the expected end. They were a slap in the face a lot of times, a lot. And with time, and since my son's accident and his recovery, but during that period, during those few months, I had no clue where I was going, what I was doing. I just put one foot in front of the other, and that's what I tell people. There was no measurable faith that I could look at and, say I would seize as I left a room. I would seize as I arrived at a hospital, that I would wield as I dealt with doctors, that I would put on the table as I did A, B, and C. And I tell you, I did A to Z during those months in terms of all I had to do, and all I did was mummying. And God, respectfully, for some reason, jumped on the bandwagon. And I say for some reason because I don't see anything I did. And since then, I've said to God so many, but God, what is it? What did I do? What did I do that made you come to the party so hard? I mean, God was the life of that party. Hey, God was just the life of that awful, awful party. And I say it like that because the number of big and small miracles and things happening without me doing prompting anything was mind-boggling. I mean, I cannot count. I literally couldn't count. I mean, that was one time I could say that I saw a glimpse of what the open heavens that God promises in, what's the book again? The last one of the Bible, of the Old Testament? Malachi. That open heaven, that when you read that Malachi 3 thing, the go-to tithe scripture, and I was like, God, but God, I mean, come on, God, you can see I'm struggling, and I would fight with God, and I would fluke God, unfortunately, and I would just like, what do you call it in English? Oh dear, my English is gone. But I would get mad at God and decide to, like, I'm enough with him. I'm enough with him. I don't want to talk to him anymore. And then I would come back, of course. I'd come back to my senses and engage again. Because I would so often hear David's words, "Where can I go, God, where you cannot find me?" I mean, where can I go? I would remember that song. But back to the faith thing. So, guys, then there is this faith situation where I'm in this place where I am remembering this aspect of being a son of Abraham. And for once, it hasn't landed as a concept, but it has landed as a life thing, a thing that I live. What I mean by that is I don't have to try to be a son of Abraham, just like I don't try to be saved. I've never tried to be saved. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I haven't read anywhere that it says I'm supposed to try to be saved. All I know is that you believe and you are, So I don't know. If I'm wrong, guys, if I've been off course, please let me know. And so then this guy is made righteous because he believed God. And if he believed God, that means that that was his way of life. That was his believing, right? Obviously, then that means it's right believing because it pleased God, right? And then we all know that without faith, we can't please God, right? And we who are of faith are meant to live by faith. And we have heard and read so many incidents where Jesus talks about faith having done so and so and so, and it's the people's faith that did that and that and that. And for me, it always felt like such a burden. And I was like, oh God, how am I going to do this? I'm not doing it. My faith is not doing the doings. God, do something with this faith. You said it's mustard seed size. Is it like invisible? Is it just like not there? Is that why it's not happening? And then today, boom, something dropped right here, you know? And this thing that dropped, I'm listening to a teaching. And this thing that dropped was that this faith that pleased God so much that it effected an expected end was a faith received by grace. Look, the people who received it did not realize that they were receiving it by grace, you know? And I say that because there's a Syrophoenician woman who is clearly not a Jew. She's a Gentile. There is a Roman centurion. He is totally and worse than a Gentile. He's an enemy of the Jews. And then, of course, there's the lepers who are total outcasts, not even to be touched or to be looked at. And then there is um, the unclean woman. I mean, that for me sounds just so awful. I mean, how do you call somebody unclean? Because of a natural thing you can't help, bleeding. We women do that, and it's always made to be seem so filthy. Like it's our fault. I digress. I shall stop digressing. Anyhow, you heard the examples I made. However, these people went to Jesus expecting nothing other than that they believe he will do what he says he will do. They believe in their heart what they hope he will do. And the reason, now this is what I'm learning, okay? So it's not a formula. The reason it worked is because their actions were not driven by works. That's why I say grace, but rather by grace, which is why it is by faith, and that being the reason, if you do anything driven by works, it says, I think somewhere in Galatians, you put yourself under the curse of the law. So in other words, let's say I'm looking for a promotion, right? And so I decide that, and then the promotion doesn't happen. And then I go to God. Oh, but God, I worked so hard. I pulled all-nighters. I prayed, Lord. I fasted. Lord, I believed you. Lord, I. Where was my trust? Who did I think was going to effect the expected end? And should it be? Nope. You know why? Because under the law, it's thou shalt, meaning me. So the onus is always on me. So if I expect blessing, I should do good, then God will do good. Whereas under grace, Jesus has done all the doing that needs doing. Mine is to ask and receive, as did all those people who received by faith, and hence their faith being exemplary. Oh, there goes the English. Did I say that right? Exemplar, that word. Example, whatever. Example, what in South African. So I'll leave it here, guys. I'll leave it here. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Why I feel that for me, I came at faith um, on the wrong foot, if I can put it that way, and thereby, shot my own foot then because of my own wrong-footedness. Yeah, okay, guys, I'll leave it here and thank you for joining me again. Until next time and the next lesson. And I haven't forgotten that I haven't finished my how I got saved and all of that, my journey. Um, but I'm still here, so yeah. The journey continues, right? So let's continue. But I'll try and catch us all up so that we can then all be on the same page as to when Neo and when Neo is trotting in this faith journey. Okay, thank you so much. Love you all. Jesus is love. Jesus is life. Okay. Cheers, guys. Thank you.